Did you know that some of the world's longest living people rarely set foot in a gym? Imagine being able to skip those monotonous, tedious workouts and still remain healthy enough to reach the age of 100. It may sound too good to be true, but stick around because in this video we are uncovering 6 simple and fun ways to keep your body moving and your health thriving without ever making you feel like you are exercising at all. Meet Alice, a 70-year-old grandmother with an infectious zest for life who, despite her vibrant spirit, has long harbored a dislike for exercise. After retiring, Alice found it increasingly difficult to remain active. The very idea of jogging or even stepping into a gym was exhausting to her, and she began to feel less energetic and more disconnected from her own body. However, Alice's story does not end on that disheartening note. Rather than forcing herself into grueling, punishing workouts that drained her will, she discovered a few simple and joyful habits that completely transformed both her health and her energy levels. Now, each morning Alice wakes up feeling vibrant and ready to embrace the day, all without ever having to step onto a treadmill or perform a single push-up. By the end of this video, you will learn exactly how Alice managed to make this remarkable transformation and how you too can adopt these practices. These tips are not only fun and easy to integrate into your daily life, but they are also perfect for anyone who wishes to stay healthy without resorting to traditional forms of exercise. If you are curious to know Alice's secrets, please hit that like button, subscribe for more inspiring tips, and let's dive into the details. Imagine transforming everyday activities into delightful, health-boosting rituals that feel nothing like a chore. Alice discovered that by simply reimagining how she approached her daily tasks, she could reap the benefits of physical movement without the burden of a structured workout regimen. Rather than being confined by the stereotype that exercise must be intense or monotonous, she found creative ways to incorporate natural motion into her routine. One of her favorite methods was to turn everyday chores into opportunities for gentle physical activity. For instance, she learned that by viewing her daily tasks as a series of playful challenges, she could keep her body moving while enjoying herself. Take gardening, for example. Alice always loved spending time outdoors in her garden, and although she had never considered gardening to be exercise, it turned out to be one of her most effective ways of staying active. As she tended to her plants, she would dig into the soil, plant a variety of colorful flowers, and pull weeds, all while her body engaged in a series of natural movements. The bending, stretching, and even the occasional lifting involved in gardening worked her muscles and got her heart rate up. Research supports this notion, indicating that as little as 30 minutes of gardening can burn up to 200 calories. But for Alice, the benefits went far beyond mere calorie burning. In the garden, she felt a deep connection to nature. She often remarked that when she was outside, surrounded by the beauty of growing things, she felt as though she was part of something much larger than herself. This sense of connection made her feel grounded and purposeful. The fresh air, the warmth of the sunshine, and the satisfaction of nurturing life not only improved her physical health but also uplifted her mood and reduced stress. Whether she was planting tulips, tending to a small vegetable patch, or simply arranging a few potted plants on her balcony, Alice's gardening routine provided her with a gentle workout and a source of mental calm. Another delightful way Alice discovered to stay active was through the simple act of walking with purpose. One day, rather than driving to the local market as she normally would, Alice decided to walk. It wasn't a long journey, but this small change made a significant difference in her daily routine. During her walks, she would greet neighbors, enjoy the refreshing outdoors, and take moments to admire the vibrant flowers along the route. Upon reaching the market, she would leisurely select fresh produce, chat with the friendly vendors, and then walk back home with her groceries in hand. This routine transformed a mundane errand into a meaningful and health-enhancing habit. Studies have shown that a daily walk lasting 20 to 30 minutes can lower the risk of heart disease, improve mood, and strengthen joints. The key to Alice's success with walking was that she approached it with a sense of purpose. Rather than viewing walking as an isolated exercise session, she integrated it naturally into her everyday life. Whether she was visiting a neighbor, running a small errand, or simply enjoying the scenery on her way to the market, every step contributed to her overall well-being. Alice believed that when you walk with purpose, you not only engage your body, but also connect with your community and the world around you. She explained that those moments of slow, mindful movement helped her feel more present and content, transforming a simple walk into an opportunity to reflect and enjoy life. Dancing, too, became an unexpected source of joy and movement for Alice. One evening, while cooking dinner, her favorite oldies song came on the radio, and without even consciously deciding to dance, she began swaying to the beat. What started as a spontaneous moment of joy quickly evolved into a daily habit. Whenever Alice cooks, cleans, or even folds laundry, she turns on her favorite tunes and lets herself dance freely. She describes the experience as receiving a little burst of energy every time she dances. Dancing not only uplifts her spirit, but also improves her balance and coordination, a crucial benefit for seniors. As we age, maintaining stability is essential in preventing falls, and the rhythmic, fluid movements of dancing help to strengthen the muscles that keep us steady. Moreover, dancing releases endorphins, those natural chemicals in the brain that alleviate stress and boost happiness. Alice often comments that after just a few minutes of dancing, she feels as though her mood has been completely reset. It is not about performing perfect moves. Rather, it is about enjoying the movement and letting go of any self-consciousness. Whether she is gently swaying in the kitchen or having an impromptu dance party in her living room, Alice's love for dancing has become a cherished part of her routine that brings both physical and emotional benefits. For Alice, staying active did not stop at dancing. She also found immense joy in playful interactions with her grandchildren and even her pets. Whenever her grandkids visited, instead of merely watching them play, Alice would join in on the fun. She played tag in the backyard, tossed a ball, and sometimes even pretended to be a pirate in a lively game that filled the afternoon with laughter and energy. These moments were far more than just fun. They were also an excellent way for her to incorporate physical activity into her day without it ever feeling like a strenuous workout. Playful activities, whether with children or pets, have been shown to improve cardiovascular health, enhance flexibility, and elevate mood. Alice would often say that these joyful moments not only helped her stay physically active, but also created lasting memories that enriched her life. She cherished every laugh, every playful chase, and every moment of connection that came naturally from being active with those she loved. If you think that staying active means you have to follow a strict, regimented exercise routine, Alice's story may come as a pleasant surprise. She demonstrates that health does not necessarily depend on pushing yourself through exhausting workouts or lifting heavy weights. Instead, by embracing natural movements throughout the day, you can achieve remarkable benefits. For Alice, each of these activities, gardening, purposeful walking, dancing, and playing, became a seamless part of her daily routine. They did not feel like separate, forced exercises, but rather like joyful habits that enhanced her quality of life. In her own words, Alice explained that these habits allowed her to feel more connected to her body, more in tune with her surroundings, and more appreciative of each new day. Her approach is a refreshing reminder that staying healthy can be simple, fun, and deeply satisfying. Moreover, Alice discovered that integrating movement into everyday activities helps to break the monotony of a sedentary lifestyle. Rather than sitting passively, she found that even small changes in her routine, like choosing to walk instead of drive or dancing while doing chores, could lead to significant improvements in her overall health. These simple adjustments added up over time, resulting in better blood circulation, improved muscle tone, and enhanced mental clarity. The cumulative effect of these activities is profound, as it helps to reduce the risk of chronic diseases and boosts longevity without the need for conventional exercise programs. The idea is not to engage in strenuous activity every day, but to find enjoyable ways to keep your body in constant, gentle motion. What makes Alice's approach particularly inspiring is the sense of freedom it provides. She no longer feels bound by the conventional notion that exercise is a tedious, obligatory task. Instead, she has redefined movement as an opportunity to celebrate life and embrace the joy of being active. This shift in perspective has transformed not only her physical well-being, but also her emotional state. By letting go of the pressure to conform to traditional exercise routines, Alice has discovered a lifestyle that is both sustainable and deeply fulfilling. Her story is a testament to the idea that health and happiness do not have to come at the cost of endless hours in a gym. Rather, they can be achieved through simple, everyday actions that bring delight and satisfaction. As you reflect on Alice's journey, consider the ways in which you can incorporate similar habits into your own life. Perhaps you already enjoy certain activities that you have not recognized as forms of exercise. Or maybe you can explore new interests that naturally promote movement and well-being. The key is to listen to your body and find what feels right for you. Whether it is spending time in your garden, taking a leisurely walk around your neighborhood, dancing to your favorite tunes, or playing with your children, grandchildren, or pets, these activities offer a path to improved health that is both enjoyable and sustainable. The beauty of this approach is that it eliminates the pressure to adhere to a strict workout schedule and instead encourages you to live in a way that brings joy and vitality to every day. As you absorb these ideas, remember that every small step counts. Alice's transformation did not happen overnight. It was the result of embracing many little changes that, over time, created a remarkable improvement in her overall quality of life. Each new habit contributed to a healthier body, a clearer mind, and a more joyful heart. This is the power of redefining what it means to be active. It is a gentle reminder that you do not have to conform to a one-size-fits-all approach to fitness. Instead, you can choose to enjoy the natural rhythms of life and find creative ways to move that are perfectly suited to your own abilities and preferences. If you have ever considered how your daily routines might be tweaked to incorporate more movement, take a moment to think about the possibilities. Perhaps you could try gardening in a small patch of soil, walking to your local market instead of driving, dancing to a beloved song while cooking dinner, or even simply stretching while watching TV. These are not just activities. They are expressions of a lifestyle that values health, joy, and connection. The transformative effect of these simple habits is a powerful incentive to explore new ways of living that prioritize well-being without sacrificing the pleasures of everyday life. In Alice's own words, the secret to her renewed energy and vibrant health lies in the balance she has achieved by integrating movement seamlessly into her routine. She emphasizes that it is not the intensity of the exercise that matters, but rather the consistency and enjoyment derived from staying active. By choosing to move in ways that feel natural and pleasurable, she has managed to maintain a high level of fitness without ever feeling burdened by the demands of conventional workouts. This philosophy challenges the conventional wisdom that strenuous exercise is the only path to longevity and well-being. Instead, it invites you to consider that the key to a long and healthy life might lie in the simple, joyful acts of daily living. Furthermore, Alice's experience illustrates that the benefits of staying active extend beyond physical health. The mental and emotional rewards are equally significant. Engaging in activities that you love not only stimulates your body, but also invigorates your mind and uplifts your spirit. The pleasure of moving freely, of connecting with nature or with loved ones, and of finding joy in the mundane can have a profound impact on your overall sense of well-being. As you incorporate these habits into your life, you may find that you experience an increase in energy, a decrease in stress, and a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. The transformation is holistic, touching every aspect of your life and reaffirming the idea that health is a state of complete harmony between body, mind, and soul. Now, as you consider the multitude of ways Alice has redefined exercise, reflect on how these ideas can be woven into your own life. Each tip is a gentle invitation to look at your daily routines with fresh eyes and to see the potential for movement and joy in every corner of your day. Whether you are a seasoned gardener, an occasional walker, an enthusiastic dancer, or someone who delights in playful moments with family and pets, there is always room to enhance your routine with small changes that can lead to significant improvements over time. The beauty of these approaches is that they are inherently adaptable. You can modify them to suit your individual circumstances and preferences, creating a personalized plan that feels both natural and effective. The journey to improved health does not require dramatic overhauls or rigorous schedules. Instead, it is built upon a foundation of consistent, enjoyable activities that cumulatively contribute to a more vibrant and energetic life. Alice's story is a shining example of how a positive attitude towards movement can transform not only your body, but also your entire outlook on life. By embracing these simple, fun habits, you are not merely exercising. You are enriching your life with moments of joy, connection, and vitality. As you embark on your own journey, remember that every little effort counts, and that the path to lasting well-being is paved with the small, daily choices you make. So, which of these tips will you try first? Perhaps you will start by taking a leisurely walk to a nearby park, or you might decide to put on your favorite song and dance while preparing dinner. Maybe you will set aside a few minutes each day to tend to a garden or to play with a pet or grandchild. Each of these actions is a step towards a healthier, happier you. Let your heart be your guide and allow yourself the freedom to move in a way that feels joyful and authentic. As you absorb Alice's inspiring journey, take comfort in the knowledge that staying active does not have to feel like a burden. Instead, it can be a celebration of life, a series of moments filled with laughter, movement, and connection. By integrating these habits into your routine, you are choosing to live with intention and to honor your body in ways that are both nurturing and fulfilling. The benefits you gain will be reflected not only in your physical strength, but also in your mental clarity and emotional resilience. In a world where the pressures of modern life can often leave us feeling disconnected, Alice's approach is a powerful reminder that true health comes from embracing the simple joys of everyday living. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, please do not hesitate to hit that like button and share it with someone who might also benefit from these insights. Remember, the journey to better health is a collective one, and by spreading these ideas, you can help create a community where everyone feels empowered to live their best life. And if you are eager to discover even more tips on how to stay healthy and joyful without conforming to traditional exercise routines, be sure to subscribe for more life advice tailored just for you. There is always more to learn, and every new idea is an opportunity to enhance your well-being. If you are ready to transform your life by embracing these simple, joyful habits, then take that first step today. Experiment with different activities, listen to your body, and allow yourself the freedom to move in ways that feel natural and fun. The transformation you seek is within reach, and it begins with a single, joyful step. Which of these tips will you try first? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear about your experiences and the ways in which you are making movement a natural and delightful part of your daily life. And if you want to discover the simple trick that 90% of seniors forget for feeling younger, be sure not to miss our next video. Did you know that the average home holds over 300,000 items for seniors? It is astonishing to consider that within these walls there exists a lifetime's worth of memories, along with an incredible amount of stuff that has accumulated over the years. If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of items in your home, know that you are not alone in this experience. However, here is some good news. Decluttering does not have to be a stressful endeavor that leaves you with lingering regret over your decisions. In fact, by employing a few simple strategies, most mistakes that occur during the decluttering process can be avoided altogether. Perhaps you have been unintentionally keeping clutter that is draining your space, energy, and peace of mind. Stay with me as today we reveal the 8 most common decluttering mistakes that seniors make and explain how to fix 99% of them. Let us get started on this journey of transformation together. Allow me to introduce Diane, a retired teacher in her 70s whose story exemplifies the struggles and triumphs of decluttering a lifetime's accumulation. For decades, Diane built a home filled with memories, from her children's colorful artwork to her late husband's cherished belongings. In every corner of her house, there were items that told the beautiful story of her life. However, when Diane made the decision that it was time to downsize and simplify, she quickly discovered an unexpected reality. Her home was not only filled with precious memories, but also overwhelmed with clutter. Like so many others in her situation, Diane felt completely overwhelmed by the task ahead. At the very beginning of her decluttering journey, Diane attempted to tackle everything at once. She believed that by handling all of her belongings on her own in one massive effort, she could quickly restore order to her home. Instead of making progress, however, she soon found herself drowning in decisions. She began making some of the most common decluttering mistakes that many seniors fall prey to. and these missteps turned the entire process into a veritable nightmare. Diane ended up keeping items that she did not truly need, throwing away things that she later regretted parting with, and ultimately feeling entirely stuck in her efforts. Does any of this sound familiar to you? But here is the encouraging part. Diane managed to turn her situation around, and you can too, simply by learning a few straightforward strategies. Diane not only succeeded in decluttering her home, but also rediscovered the peace and joy that she had been missing for many years. If you have ever felt as though your belongings are holding you back, or that the mere idea of decluttering is overwhelmingly stressful, then please stay with me, because today I will walk you through the exact steps that Diane used to transform both her home and her life. Before we proceed any further, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more practical life advice that is tailored specifically for seniors. Your support is invaluable and helps us create content that inspires and empowers you at every step of your journey. Now, let us begin our exploration of these common pitfalls and how to avoid them. Mistake number 1 is trying to declutter everything at once. Diane was incredibly excited to start her decluttering journey. In her imagination, she pictured herself strolling through her home, room by room, clearing away years of accumulated items, confident that she could accomplish the entire task in a single weekend. She envisioned that within just a couple of days she would have tackled everything, and the resulting sense of relief from having a clutter-free space would be overwhelming. However, by Sunday afternoon, Diane found herself completely wiped out. Instead of feeling relieved, her house looked more chaotic than ever before, and the enormous task that lay ahead suddenly appeared utterly impossible. She became exhausted, overwhelmed, and at the brink of giving up entirely. Does this scenario sound familiar? Many seniors fall into the trap of believing that decluttering must occur all at once. When confronted with an overwhelming amount of clutter, our minds race with the idea of simply getting it over with in one giant effort. However, trying to declutter your entire home in one single weekend is simply not a realistic approach. It is much like trying to consume an enormous meal in one single bite. Eventually, you will choke on the process. The truth is, decluttering does not have to be an all-or-nothing endeavor. You do not need to address every item in your home at the same time in order to see real progress. The secret is to break the process down into smaller, manageable goals. Begin by focusing on one small area at a time. Perhaps start with a single drawer, a small shelf in your closet, or even a box of old papers. The key is to start small and to celebrate every victory along the way. Each little win, no matter how minor it may seem, adds up to a much larger transformation over time. For instance, Diane decided one weekend to focus exclusively on her kitchen. She began by clearing out just one drawer, just that one small space. To her great surprise, she discovered how much easier it was to stay focused when she was not attempting to clear out every cupboard simultaneously. The very next weekend, she tackled a single shelf, proceeding little by little. Gradually, the clutter began to disappear, and before long, Diane was making significant progress without ever feeling overwhelmed. This method is so effective because it is sustainable. Instead of burning yourself out in a single massive effort, you build momentum slowly. Every small goal you complete brings with it a sense of accomplishment and further motivates you to continue. Moreover, by proceeding in this deliberate manner, you allow yourself the necessary time and energy to make thoughtful decisions about what truly belongs in your life and what does not. Always remember that the ultimate goal is progress, not perfection. Have you ever attempted to declutter everything at once, only to find yourself feeling overwhelmed? Please share your experiences in the comments below. Mistake number 2 is holding on to sentimental items that you will never actually use. We all have that box, or perhaps even several boxes, filled with old photos, souvenirs, and knickknacks that chronicle the story of our past. These items hold the memories of our children's childhoods, the joy of family vacations, and milestones that we cherish forever. But the question remains, do these sentimental items truly bring you joy, or are they simply gathering dust? It is incredibly difficult to part with sentimental items. Many of us feel that letting go of these objects means that we are somehow forgetting the precious memories they represent. However, the truth is that holding on to every single item does not preserve those treasured memories. Rather, it can overwhelm your living space and add unnecessary stress to your life. Diane faced this very same challenge. She had a box full of mementos from her children's school years, letters, drawings, and even trophies that had been tucked away for decades. Every item in that box held a story, and the mere thought of letting them go felt almost impossible. Eventually, Diane came to an important realization. The memories do not reside in the objects themselves, but rather in her heart. With this understanding, she decided to approach the process of decluttering sentimental items in a different manner. Instead of feeling compelled to keep every single thing, she began by taking photographs of those sentimental items. The colorful birthday cards her children had lovingly made for her, the handprint art from their preschool days, and even the antique teacups that had been passed down by her grandmother. By creating a digital collection of these items, Diane found that she could preserve the memories without having them physically occupy valuable space in her home. Through this process, she was able to keep only the most meaningful items, those that truly added value to her present life, while gently letting go of the rest. In doing so, she did not feel as though she was losing the memories. Instead, she felt a remarkable sense of freedom and organization, and she enjoyed a newfound peace knowing that the most important pieces of her past were preserved in an accessible, clutter-free format. It is not necessary to hold on to every physical item in order to honor your past. You can preserve your cherished memories in ways that do not weigh you down. What is the hardest sentimental item for you to let go of? I invite you to share your story in the comments below. I would love to hear about your experiences. Mistake number 3 is not asking for help when you need it. Diane, like many others, believed that she had to handle everything on her own. She did not want to burden her children with the difficult task of sorting through decades of accumulated items, and she thought that asking for help would somehow make her appear incapable. Consequently, she set out to declutter her home entirely on her own, under the false assumption that she could power through the entire process by herself. Unfortunately, after weeks of attempting to sort through everything on her own, Diane became overwhelmed, exhausted, and ultimately stuck. She was not making the progress she had envisioned, and the clutter seemed to multiply rather than diminish. In the end, she began to feel more frustrated than accomplished. That is when Diane experienced a pivotal moment of clarity. She realized that decluttering does not have to be a solitary journey. One evening, after a particularly challenging day in which she struggled to make decisions, Diane reached out and called her son Matt. To her great relief, he agreed to help, and soon her daughter Sarah and even a few close friends joined in to lend their support. With their assistance, Diane found that the task became much lighter and more manageable. Working together, they made incredible progress, and Diane discovered that the experience was not solely about clearing out physical clutter. It became a shared, meaningful experience filled with laughter, storytelling, and even a few moments of nostalgia. Diane's family was happy to help because they understood how important it was for her to move forward and reclaim her space. The lesson here is clear: do not be afraid to ask for help, whether from family, friends, or even a professional organizer, if needed. The burden does not have to fall solely on your shoulders. Sometimes an extra pair of helping hands can make all the difference, turning what might have been an overwhelming, stressful task into an enjoyable and fulfilling activity. Have you ever tried to tackle a large task on your own, only to realize that you needed help? Please share your experiences in the comments below. I would love to hear your story. Mistake number 4 is keeping things just in case. Raise your hand if you have a drawer filled with cords for devices you no longer own, just in case you might need them someday. I am sure many of us have been guilty of this behavior. We often hold on to items with the justification that we might need them at some point in the future, such as that old charger for a phone you replaced 5 years ago, or a collection of random cables that have no clear purpose. The problem is that those just-in-case items rarely ever get used. Instead, they simply pile up, occupying space and adding to the overall clutter in your home. Diane was guilty of this as well. She had accumulated a collection of mismatched cords, spare buttons, and outdated kitchen gadgets. She kept them with the hope that someday they might be useful, yet that day never arrived. Despite her attempts to convince herself that these items were essential, they remained as nothing more than dust collectors that consumed valuable space in her home. It was not until Diane realized just how much room these forgotten items were taking up that she decided it was time to make a change. The solution, Diane discovered, was simple. Create a just-in-case box. Place all the items that you are uncertain about into this box and give yourself a strict deadline, say 6 months.